Hey, Gretch.
Hello, how are you?
Well, in all truth, I've had a baby, and that baby has been sick all night.
Well, that we're not grateful for, but that sweet baby we certainly
But I'm grateful for him, but we definitely had like mom go time last night. So
it never ends. I had a 17-year-old sick baby this week that was serious and took it. So yeah, we it never ends.
never ends.
But they're all good. So it is Thanksgiving. I can't believe it.
It is. I can't believe it's the end of 2024.
I was thinking this morning, I know it was about this time last year that you started winding down. Because you didn't wanna travel into the city, and you were fully in your last yeah, right at the beginning of your last trimester, and I mean, a flash.
It like it's blink of an eye. Like I can't believe right, it's 9 months in, 9 months in, and 9 months out.
I know, and we are getting ready to, get full speed ahead for the summit, which
We're so
I
excited.
I feel like it was just yesterday. I mean, it just is,
I was so bummed to miss last year.
I when we were thinking about 3 things, with women in entertainment that we're most thankful for this year, the crowd and energy at the summit is top of the list. It is yeah, it was a
I missed it.
you missed
So I went
that
to labor that night.
for a good reason, for a good reason. I don't know, tell our listeners that, you and I were we were texting at the very end of the summit. I was taking my shoes off because my feet hurt so bad from running around all day. And you literally texted me, "Oh, no, my water just broke." And I was like,
I went into labor at like 8:30.
"Yeah, that's right."
So it was like literally like after the last panel. I'm
Exactly.
getting live updates.
A line updates, and I remembered, you texting me that as I was because it was, yeah, 5:30, 6 o'clock in LA, and I literally was taking my shoes off, and you sent me that text. But the funniest is, remember about 2 weeks before the summit, we were doing we did an Ethel and Lucy moment that we should talk Spencer into letting you come to the summit. To drive cross country, would have had the baby in LA, and he would have killed us both.
Oh my God. He was so mad. Well, technically, it's like my due date was St. Patrick's, and instead he was born on leap day.
Right, right? He was gonna get a holiday no matter what.
But just remember like getting text messages from speakers or from publicists. And I'm like, I'm not there, but 1 second. And then all of a sudden I was like, Sven, I feel weird today.
Yeah.
I can't tell if it's just FOMO for the summit and then all of a sudden, bam, there's Grayson.
There he is. So that was our big women in entertainment moment. The summit and Grayson happening on the same day was crazy.
And I wasn't sure if I wanted a leap day baby. And I was like, you're either staying in there or you're waiting till March 1st or you gotta come out by midnight.
Right, right. And he had his own plans.
Came in his own time as he does everything else.
But no, that was a day. And talk about, yeah, adrenaline, the end of day down didn't come because Grayson was coming. So it was, no, it was a great day. It was fun, but yeah, now we're ready again, heading into, 8 summit and 10th year.
God, I remember the first one. And I was running around. You were my client.
They
And I remember that day. I don't know if you remember that, but the programs printed your wrong Twitter.
Yes, I do remember that. The programs had my wrong Twitter handle. Do
We
you
proved that
remember,
program 100 times.
do you remember us trying to make that, like, sketchy little room, a makeup and hair room at the ArcLight Cinerama?
Oh, the ticketing booth.
Yes, the old front ticketing booth that had been closed down since, I don't know, 1962, and yeah, I just remember going in there and it was like, "Wow, the things we can do with pipe and drape."
Oh my God, I was so nervous. The dome was so big.
So big, and we filled that
So big for an inaugural
yeah,
summit.
It was fun though. It was so fun
but it was
and to
so
be back. There's still so many great stories from that summit of people who, like, made partnerships and are still in business together and did things from that very first summit.
I remember after that, because we all stayed at the Roosevelt in Hollywood, and, um, I had my sister-in-law and brother-in-law come in from San Diego, and I remember that night because we were just coming off of opening ArcLight Chicago. You and I took the red eye into LA. We did the Women in Entertainment Summit, and you were screaming that night I fell asleep,
Well, and you were staying because we were opening ArcLight Santa Monica. Like, the next like, 3 days later or Zed's week or something, yeah. It was
and we were just laying, like, back to back, and we were just going, and I remember the adrenaline fell after the summit that Friday. I went to Meg's Diner with Spencer, fell asleep at breakfast, and then they came in, and I remember we went from bar to bar, and I literally fell asleep in my hands at every bar,
yeah, it was
and then start all over again.
yeah, 10 years ago.
Crazy.
It was ex
I miss the ArcLight.
I know.
I miss the
It's
ArcLight
yeah,
so
it's
much.
true.
East Coasters don't know what ArcLight really, like, was and did.
The Californians or the LA people right now are shedding a little tear. They know. No.
What we're talking about.
Yeah, there's so much to be thankful for women in entertainment, for our people, for our friendship, for our I mean, I think those first years so the first years we had the ArcLight staff working for those first 2 years, then we had all of my kids.
We did. We had Olive Lane was
Yep, we're the
teenager.
Sarah Royal teenagers that are working and friends and family. I
We've
know
had all of Relativity where
all of Relativity
the
was
summit.
it's been, yeah, those our teen has evolved in some way, but so thankful for that.
I just remember Kendall, she was how old, Sasha? She was 7 or 8?
He was 7. I just looked at those pictures the other day.
She was doing and I remember her in the front row being like, "10 minutes."
Yeah, she was not having taken anybody's nonsense if they were going their time. She had a very serious job as timer.
And she took it very seriously.
And Luke was doing our social media in between school and baseball practice.
Oh, Crystal.
It was,
And
definitely
Jen was still controlling us in every way, shape, and form, and we're 10 years later, still is.
yeah, yeah, Jen, we can do without her. It's,
Ben and Camissa.
it is, no, it is it's super fun, and our I know there's some people that we thank every year at the summit who have been to every one. Last year, when I saw Rosser because she hadn't we hadn't had because of COVID and all the different things, when we saw it's like she's been at every summit with us. I mean, we have people like that, so that's super, super exciting and, that we're still fresh and offering something interesting that they can come for.
Yeah, absolutely. I also am really excited about some of the guests that we've had.
Yeah.
I think the pedigree of talent has increased over the years, but I also still really enjoy the startup conversations that we have. Like when we were talking to Pinky Promise, when we talked to some of the other production companies and some of the folks that are just like coming out of the gate writing and learning how to do a screenplay. And
The pitching conversations are always so great too when you see people, like, taking notes and just really soaking it in on how to pitch and how to finance, and yeah, there's some great conversations that come out of those.
I am also thankful for our husbands.
Ah, yes. We could not do this without them.
When Larry and Spencer were Patty Jenkins' bodyguard,
Yes, when they had to run security for Patty.
they ran security.
I think they enjoyed that though.
I think Spencer still talks about that as a party story.
It was, that's so funny. That's what we have to do. In their 10-year, we need to bring back everyone. We need to bring back we'll do a roundup of all of we'll bring Spencer and Larry, we'll bring the kids. I'll see if I can find Rosie and Anya and yeah, we'll bring
I live in Poland.
yeah, true. Anya's in Europe. She probably can't come. but, uh, but see if we can get everybody back for the 10-year and do an I worked at the, Women in Entertainment Summit photo.
Oh, the legacies.
And now, I mean, Ichor Words is our, is something we're, what a I mean, it has taken a turn this year, and so thankful for just how many people are listening, how many people are interested in us, and in having their clients on, and I mean, we talk a lot, and it's so fun to be able to do that with our guests.
Yeah, and I think I'm thankful for the audience because I think we've been learning.
Yeah.
If you look at our first podcast versus now, and we're still, like, learning in a big way in terms of how to interview because it's such a different type of conversation. So bear with us
Yeah. No, it is.
as we continuously learn.
It is
It's
fun.
like I do enjoy our in-persons. I enjoy our virtual ones, but I think this past week launching Across the Table with Tim Matheson was fun.
He was so much fun.
He's so nice.
He is. He was so nice.
It's
And it's
so
the fun
fun.
things that, that we get to or that people don't really know. Like, he was there a good half an hour early, and we talked and laughed, and then still had an hour podcast to talk and laugh and laugh. He was just such a nice guy.
Do you rem It's like, do you remember when we had, Paul Feig and we did the pre-call, and then we had, like, an amazing pre-call, and then we had the podcast, and we're like, "Oh, we talked about all this."
And it felt like we talked about all this.
And it felt like we talked about all this.
But see,
You're so right. It is so many projects.
no pre-calls. We learned very
No
quickly.
pre-calls. 'Cause we, like, ended up talking to him into the night. We had, like, a 2-hour pre-call.
Right, right.
And we're like, "Oh,
Yep.
hey, what's up?"
Yeah, yeah, no pre-calls. It was, what about I think when we had Emily Hampshire from Schitt's Creek on, I think I scared her when she came in the room because I was such a huge fan. She's probably like, "Okay, crazy fan lady." Why
And the funny part is I'm not a Schitt's Creek fan.
I love her.
It's like I'm the devil probably to our audience, but I'm not a Schitt's Creek fan.
Yeah,
I did not find it funny.
she was so, so, so funny, but I think I scared her when she came in the room. I love it that there's still people we get to fangirl over.
Who have I fangirled over?
Who did we just have on that recently?
Joe Garcia. I had a friend look at me and be like, "Renee, you can't do that on the podcast." Like, so embarrassing. Whatever, I own it.
Yeah, we are, I think it'd be boring if we didn't have people that we were super excited to meet and see.
Deb Khan was a fangirl
Yeah, absolutely.
moment.
Judith Light, oh my gosh.
Oh my god, Angela
Annie
Bauer.
Annie Potts? I mean, come on, and we were, yeah. The best is that we can fangirl over years. We're like, "What about this? What about this character? What about this character? What about" and we still love their current characters.
Well, I think it's really funny that, like, you and I get really excited about 80s and 90s people.
Right? Hey, they're
Like, I was
coming back.
excited to have Laura on.
Yep, yep,
Laura,
they're all coming back.
like, I love her. I bonded with her at the TV summer.
Yeah, we love Laura. Laura, you need to come to the
Or
center. We'll have
the whole Melrose, like,
yeah.
but it's, like, interesting because this next generation, despite us not feeling old, like, when you talk to our team, they're like, "What's Melrose Place?"
Like, what is
I'm
wrong
like,
with you?
"What? Like, what hour with you
Yeah,
people?"
and now I know
Still waiting for the, Models Inc. conclusion. Somebody had that right. Fun.
well, now
We're gonna talk models.
the rewatch podcast, I think, brings in a whole new generation.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else. It's like you've done a lot of the heavy lifting this year because of me being out on maternity.
There were, there were a lot of fun people, yeah, that we got to talk to and that came to us, and it's not as much fun doing it without you, though, I'll tell you that. It's not as much fun doing it by myself. Um, but you know who was super fun was getting to talk to Tembi and Attica Locke. I mean, they're sisters, they're both amazing writers, and
I don't think I was on that.
you were, and that was when you were on maternity leave, but we talked to doing them separately, but hearing them talk about each other and, like, how they influence each other, that was super, super fun. Um, and, and their personal stories, and I think the biggest thing is that no matter who we talk to, where how old they are, what, kind of if they're writers, directors, producers, actors, where they come from, we learn something and and our listeners learn something. Everyone has such, everybody has a story. And everybody has a story of how they got there and, did they wanna be bossy and in charge? And so they became, thought, "Oh, I need to be a director." Did they were they creative and business-minded? So, so they went this route. So I think that's super fun that we get to hear everyone's amazing story.
If you could have any guest in the world, who would it be?
Oh my gosh.
Or how about top 3?
Top
Who you want us to go after for
3
25?
for us to have in 2025, I went Zoe Saldana. I'm obsessed with the lioness, and her career. I mean, going from Guardians of the Galaxy to that to, I mean, just everything she's doing. I would love to have her. Um, who do I want from? I want Ellen Hildebrand. Um, we love her. I love her books. Now they're being, made into series and movies, and she's kind of moving on with what she does. I think that would be super interesting to hear from her. Um, and then oh, who else do I want? You know who I really want us to talk to because we've kind of touched on his team and we love them. I wanted Robert Downey Jr. I'd love to have an across the table with him.
Definitely.
Yeah, with his Team Downey was so great at the set.
I want him and his wife.
Yeah, exactly. To have them come back and have Robert join them, I think would be a super fun. So, what about you?
Um, hmm, I want Heather Headley.
Oh, she sings.
After hearing her at Carnegie Hall, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
Sutton Foster, big fan.
big fan. Yeah,
Um,
you're going all
I
the
think
way here.
on across the table, kind of in the same vein, I think I James Spader is definitely in my list because I think he's had such an interesting career.
Our 80s
And
and
bridge up that, Andrew McCarthy, because of all of his directing, Brat, all of that. I followed him for years. And I think I'd love to do an episode. You're gonna laugh because you know me, an old series that I bring back up. I would love to do like a Kim Raver, Brooke Shields, Lindsay Price, because I just rewatched Lipstick Genre,
lipstick joke.
which was so on par. And I think if it was made today, it would just go off the charts.
Yeah, you love
It was too early, too early. If it was on a streamer, it would've gotten so much more play.
right, right. Renee and I, while we have a million things we bond on, at one point over the summer watching Brat, we both revealed to each other that out of the entire Brat Pack in that entire world, we were both Andrew McCarthy girls.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Like, less than ze like, I think and it's funny because there's certain men in the industry that, like, pop up on all these things I watch. Like, I was talking to Tim Matheson about it. Like, all of a sudden, I'm watching, like, Las Vegas to fold laundry, and all of a sudden, I look up and I'm like, "Directed by Tim Matheson."
Right?
And I think Andrew McCarthy is another one.
Mhm. No, there's so many, not secret, but just like not household known where actors that you think like, "Gosh, I haven't seen him in years." They have just prolific directing and producing, careers, and, I that's a that'd be a really interesting little spotlight series to look at something like we did with Tim where, he was on Leave It to Frickin' Beaver in the '50s as a kid actor, and he's directing and acting it.
Me more.
Yeah, Denny Moore would be fantastic. Andrew McCarthy, just all these people that have these, continuing careers that we don't know. People didn't know that about, Penny Marshall. just what she directed and what she did after, after she wasn't in front of the camera anymore. So, like, that's a really interesting, yeah, that's a really interesting topic.
Well, I think it's like twofold. I think out of the guests that we've had, what I'm grateful for is just this. It's not only just the stories, but it's the experience. And I think when you look at the different phases, and I think came up in a interview with Tim, and it came up in the interview with Deb Kahn, um, and Judith Light, is when you're looking at these multi-generational actors, actresses, writers, showrunners, because of the changing face of Hollywood, whether it's technology, streaming, windowing, distribution, financing, when you see what some of these folks have experienced and how they've had to reinvent themselves, those are really interesting. Like when we sit down and talk to some of, I want to say the new generation, that they're just coming straight into the streaming worlds, right? They're coming into the Netflix world, and then when you hear Tim's stories of working with John Belushi and Leave It to Beaver and Lucille Ball and what you have to bring, it's not, and some of these folks, when you think back on Aaron Spelling shows, we're doing 22, 25 episodes,
Yeah,
seasons,
what they've done. But one
and
thing,
now you look at Outer Banks and here's 10 episodes and that's your season.
yeah, no,
They're produced beautifully and they cost a ton of money.
yeah,
But if you think about like old Aaron Spelling shows,
cow, 2025.
they were episodic, so you
Mhm.
could pick them up and put them down. He had his formula of why Charlie's Angels was picked up. And when you look at certain things, and as you know, I listen to quite a bit about from like Holly Marie Combs and the Charmed podcast and things, and it's interesting to hear it. And we had that conversation with Laura Layton too.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is. It's really a different world. But it gave me hope when we asked Tim, is there an opportunity for, young creatives, young actors now coming in to have a career like yours with all these changes that you just mentioned? And him is like, yes. You can, and being flexible and knowing and learning and working hard. And so I think, yeah, it's definitely different, but I loved that he felt like that, that opportunity was still there, that these we could still know about it, these young, some of these new and young people now, 40, 50 years from now.
It's like when you listen to Liz Gillies, and she was one of our biggest episodes
Yeah.
in terms of just viewership and audience. She's so hardworking, and because she started young, she's been in the industry for 15, 20 years. And, she really talked about similar things that Tim did.
Hmm.
Discipline, taking responsibility for behavior, taking responsibility for showing up every day. And Carlacia Grant was the same.
Yeah, staying great, staying, all of them had in common, like staying grounded in their with their family, with their values, with their work ethic. That was common between, yes, all of those
A lot of them.
conversations. Yeah.
It's the craft. Just focus on your craft.
Yeah. No,
And that was
yeah, we definitely we have a lot to be thankful for.
we do. I'm thankful for you.
I'm thankful for you too. I wouldn't do this with anyone else.
Same here. You're like my like Ben Affleck to Matt Damon, or vice versa.
Our ride or die. It's man, yep. Well, and I know people, we say it all the time, but Renee and I, we met, we worked together. We worked together. She did my PR at ArcLight, and we were like, "Oh, when you sit, there's a spark there. There's a spark. There's
I
something
remember
there."
for lunch.
Yep,
Our investment
right.
revenue.
Yep. I remember thinking, "Oh god, Renee is such a true New Yorker, and I am such a not. I'm such an LA person," because it was freezing cold, and we met at Sarah Beth's, and of course, I'm wearing 27 sweaters and a coat and a scarf, and it's 100 degrees inside, and I remember I take off my coat and still have my 27 sweaters on, I was dying, and Renee takes off her coat, and she has on a silk blouse. She's perfectly comfortable. I'm like, "Oh, that's how New Yorkers do it."
Oh god, I remember, like, prepping for that meeting, and then you and I just ended up talking about Luke and NYU.
Oh, yeah, we talked about everything for hours and hours, but you never know where things are, who
Or
becomes
who
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 becomes
your
your
tribe.
bestie, who becomes your, outside of work, but I am so thankful for you, for Spencer, for Grayson, for everybody.
And I love your family. I'm, like, part of the McCourt
Absolutely.
family. I have, like when I used to go to LA when you lived there, I love the fact that I would be like, "No, no, I'm coming to dinner." And Larry would, like, make me, like I'd be like one of the kids and have, like, a meatball parm sandwich in front of me with the, like with your kid brood.
Oh, no, it's good. It's good to go into the holidays. We're gonna take a little break. We have so much fun and planning to do and get ready for 2025, but I think our biggest blessing is women in entertainment never feels like work. It always feels like it always feels like fun, it feels optimistic, it always feels good.
Yeah, no, and I think it's what we've been able to build has been really consistent, I think, safe, and I think that's really important. I think we're safe for everybody,
Yep.
and I think we value everybody. It's like I think across the table, which we haven't really put much publicity around. Um, but what we found is so many men have championed women, and I know we've had some hesitation because, with a variety of ebbs and flows of news cycle and so forth. Um, we've struggled getting men to our summit and men on our podcast, and it's amazing to kind of see that switch and women really recommending men for our podcast, and that's what's great. And seeing how women have influenced men, men have influenced women, what that really looks like in terms of how to build career and give advice. We all are in this together.
Yeah, the nobody does it alone message is so clear.
And we can't just talk to ourselves.
No. No, never.
To move us forward, we all need to be a part of it. And I think that's something that we're working hard on doing going into 25, and it's exciting.
Yes, absolutely. 2025 is gonna be a great year. I'm excited.
Yeah. And we only have 3 more podcasts in this season, and then we're launching season 2. So we'll have a little hiatus in January, recharge, not look like this.
Look out for our newsletters and information on the summit. But everybody have a happy, happy Thanksgiving.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving and be safe and hope we have a healthy and happy Thanksgiving.
Bye, everybody.
You're grateful.